I started in 1969. I attended high school in Washington, D.C. And after that, I joined in a scholarship from an oil company. It's called Oasis Oil Company. And we were sent to Florida, Vero Beach, to get our pilot license, commercial instrument, multi-engine. So we headed to Florida, and then there were with me about 3 or 4 people, and we had our licenses. Then I came back and flew with a company called Oasis Oil Company, which paid for our training. After that, I went and flew with another company called Air Libya, DC-3s, in the desert. It was a commuter airline for oil companies. And then after that, I joined the Libyan Arab Airlines, and I flew to England. And I attended a school called Oxford Air Training. It's in Kidlington, Oxford. And also I got my flying license. Before that, I went to Florida Institute of Technology, and I got 2 Bachelor of Science in Airline Management. One is in Air Commerce, and the other is in Air Transportation Technology. So after that, I joined Libyan Arab Airlines. I flew Fokker Friendship. It's a propeller aeroplane. It was commuting to the desert, to the oil camps. Then I flew Fokker 28. It's a jet aircraft, carries about 80 passengers. And after that, I got trained on the 727 Boeing 200. I flew that for about 10 years. And then I got training on the Airbus 320 right now.
Oh, that's a nice aircraft.
Yeah, it's a nice aircraft. 320, it's a new aircraft. It's not really new, but the technology in it is different from the 727. There is no more gimbals in the artificial horizons, all digital. And there is a FMS, flight management system, which helps the pilot a lot in the flying. It's like GPS. There's GPS in it too, which is very nice aircraft. And we are now still in the 320.
Okay, and how long have you been flying the Airbus 320?
Been flying it, training for about now 3 years.
Yeah. That sounds like, it looks like a fun plane to fly.
Yeah, it's very fun plane, very fun plane. I wanted to also speak a little bit on the happy revolution we have. It's a great revolution. I wanted to really speak of myself. Probably it's the young people who made the revolution, but we prepared the young people to make the revolution. We built them to hate this regime. I am very fortunate that I attended this revolution of the 17th of February, because it's really luck that I see these little kids, these little teenage doing all this stuff. Fortunately, I was really following my son. My son, he encouraged me on going out, and I think the people, the young people, they broke the fear barrier of this man, this ugly man, because we couldn't make it due to circumstances. But these young people, they broke the fear, the barrier of fear. And I was following my son, to tell you the truth, Matt, and I was seeing on his face that they could do anything to really go ahead and succeed on this revolution, and they will not take anything else but success, but to beat this man, this ugly man. So I was following him from different places when it first started. It started really not 17th, it started the problems 14, 15. On the 14th, it started the problems. The Katiba, as you heard, and the Mudiriya, and different places, how they were attacking them, these young people, with bared breast, bared chest, and really they didn't really care for the guns or for the machine guns or for the also guns which they fight the aeroplanes with.
The anti-aircraft cannons.
Anti-aircraft, yes, and they were really courageous. I was seeing this on their eyes. I was seeing this, in fact, in front of me. Everything was happening in front of me, and I was so happy. At the same time, I was scared. I was scared because we were running, bullets above our heads, and not only machine guns. It was heavy-duty guns. It was really bad news.
So you were at Katiba?
Yes, I was at Katiba, and I was at the police.
You're a brave man.
Well, my son made me brave. my son, because I will tell you the truth. I was hesitating about my son. I had to see him where he is every day, because as you know, it was danger. So I had to go with him. I had to follow him wherever he goes. And we couldn't hold him at home. We couldn't. I tell him, Idris, sit home. He say, no, I have to go. So I have no choice. I had to follow him, which made me very happy later that I attended the real stuff in action. So it was nice. And then, of course, as you heard, Benghazi was freed, and it was fun seeing all these things happening. So I will tell you a little bit on also this man. He used to be a crazy man. I always think of him as a sadist, lunatic man ruling a country. He was really insane. He was changing things every day, every second, every minute, making people crazy.
What do you mean, like changing things?
He wakes up in the morning, he have a decision. The second morning, he have different decision. So he was really, people are really, were disturbed mentally. I think till now, people are disturbed.
So you had kind of a fluid constitution in a way. Then.
Exactly.
So do you have any examples of some, his whims, like some of the things he did?
Yeah, like he wakes up in the morning and he says, we need you to do so and so and so paperwork. The second day he said, no, we changed our mind. You have to go and find this and this. And he makes you all the time moving around. Never stops of doing things, so that you will not have, your mentality will not think of political things, or why I am like this, or why should I be like this. You know, he doesn't give you time.
It was more thinking that, I hope I'm not doing anything illegal like that.
Exactly.
Because something could have been legal the day before.
Exactly.
So, you know, I noticed all the shops, their doors
Green.
were painted green.
Yeah.
How recent is that?
Did you notice my office here? It wasn't green.
Yeah.
Because I never painted it green, because I don't believe in that. But this guy, he comes in and he said, okay, let's have all the doors green. This is one of the whims you said about.
Well, when did he do this?
Just about a month before the revolution.
That soon?
Yeah. And everybody was painting green, everybody, because they were really bad news, these guys. They were attacking the shops and they were ordering them to paint it green, and they were hilarious, crazy.
So they were attacking shops if you didn't paint your shop green.
Yeah.
They would destroy the shop.
Or they will close the shop, or they will take the license, withdraw the license, things like this.
That is kind of crazy.
It is crazy.
And this was in January.
This is in, yeah.
Wow.
December, exactly.
Wow.
December. It was Christmas time. He was really bad news about, he was really bad if you celebrate Christmas, man. He was really bad if you put a picture of Santa Claus. He was really insane, like he doesn't, one day he says put English signs. The second day he changed his mind. He said, no, who told you to put English signs? And he deals in wheels with Europe. He deals in wheels with everybody, but the people are buried. They are buried, man. Libyan people were buried for such ages. Since he came, he buries. He never comes and say, great people of Libya, or Libya the Great. He never. This man also, he's insane. Why? Because, Matt, you were here and you attended all these things. Did you see the painters? Did you see all these young people of creating paintings, creating poems, creating songs, rap songs? These people were buried. These young people, they woke up, they found themselves going east and he's going west. Or they were going west and he was going east. They find out that they are not accompanying the word in their developments, in their systems, in their young people felt that they had to do something. They can't take this anymore. I don't say that old people really, let's say, they weren't with this revolution. It's old and young people revolution. Because old people, since this man ruled the country, there were so many people doing things to move him or let him go away, but they weren't successful since he came, since 30, 40 years ago.
Oh, you mean like assassination attempts, like who was?
No, assassination, yes, and also attacking also Bab al-Aziziyah, attacking Bab al-Aziziyah. They attacked it maybe twice, 3 times.
I remember the case in 1984.
Exactly. There was one which so many people got killed. And he jails people a lot. He hanged people while we had the holy month of Ramadan. He hanged people while we are in that month. That month is really, it's a holy month. He hanged people. So now I hope the new generation will have nice country. It will have a nice constitution. It will have nice, good laws which they will live with, and I wish them the best. And I am very happy that I attended it, very happy, because as you know, I'm not young. So it's nice that I attended part of it, and I hope we could give all the help to these people to really complete their revolution, and give them all the help to have, like I told you, a stable country, have good relation with foreigners, have good relation with their neighbors, have good relation with other people. We were deceived. A long time ago, we used to go to Germany, we just raise the passport, and the customs will give us a salute and will tell you go. Italy, Germany, all the countries. Now, before the revolution, we go there, they hold you, they let you sit for hours, they take the passport, And it's like a terrorist entering any place. It's really crazy.
So they treated you like a terrorist because of Gaddafi.
Yeah, because of the things they hear and things happens.
I haven't seen any of that in Libya, though.
About
Honestly, I've seen some of the friendliest people in the world.
Yeah, very friendly people, but because the image of the ruler, the image of the government, it was bad image to the Western world. As you know, Lockerbie, the Bell Club in Berlin, he was supporting all the bad people around the world against their governments. He was supporting, he reached Caledonia. Could you imagine? He was involved in Caledonia, Caledonian Islands. You hear of them. He was supporting the Irish against England. He was really making problems and fusses. I'll tell you the truth. He was making fusses in Africa. He was doing so much problems in all Africa.
Do you think he thought he was the new Che Guevara or something, a new revolutionary leader for the world?
But he wasn't. Maybe, but he wasn't.
Because why was he investing so much in these revolutions?
God knows. God knows. I don't know. Every time you think why he does this, I find a question mark. And I never even get into a conclusion, because I think he have dreams. And these dreams, they don't make sense at all.
Just like his green book does.
Yeah, exactly. And he's following this green book. It's baloney. This green book is baloney. It doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't make any sense, the green book. Tell you the truth, I'm very happy for this. It's nice. It's nice. As you know, we had also, I have to emphasize on our airports here. They were in bad shape, the airports. They don't make any maintenance. They don't make any synchronization to the instrumentation of the landing system. They were poor. The runways were, there were holes in the runways. The aeroplane very, very hard to land. Excuse me.
So it made your job a lot more difficult than it needed to be.
Yeah, like I'll give you an example. There is the Korean Airlines. It was coming from Seoul.
And when was this?
In the 90s. It was coming from Seoul, and it crashed in Tripoli airport. You know, early in the morning, always there is fog in the vicinity of Tripoli airport. And about 6 o'clock or 6:30 in the morning, it arrived, and it crashed. It was a DC-10. It crashed because the alignment of the ILS of runway 27, it wasn't synchronized. They don't do any synchronization. As you know, outside monthly or every 2 months, they have synchronization for these instrumentation. It was bad. Casualties were too much. I think nobody survived. Nobody survived. Maybe the co-pilot, not the co-pilot, a Libyan co-pilot was on board, and I think he survived. But then he died. This guy, he didn't stay alive. So it was poor. And as you know, our country is rich. It has so much oil. As the media now talks about, so much money. I mean, saying that Gaddafi money outside is 130 billion, just in here and there. When you collect it together, it's 130 billion. Like the money was going outside the country for some foolish, stupid things.
Well, I just came from Susa.
Yeah.
And I visited Saif al-Islam Gaddafi's port, the harbor that he made.
Mm-hmm.
And just across, you see another town of maybe 5,000 people. It looks like a nuclear bomb hit the town.
Yeah.
He has this beautiful port with a nice house. And how much money do you need? What, 50 million, 100 million for that port?
Yeah, maybe more. Maybe more.
For a private port.
Yeah.
So you were like, I guess they thought of you guys as livestock? I don't know.
Yeah. This is the word, Matt. As if you are living with us, you know. I mean, you've been here maybe how long? A month, 2 months?
Yeah.
A month?
Yeah.
I mean, you see, this month, I think you are very smart because you got a good picture of what we are. And we love your stay here, and we wish that you never leave.
I hope to come back.
Yeah,
I'm
hope.
back in July. So.
Yeah.
Well, more of the. Let's make sure that this frame's okay. This is good stuff. You're a natural, Mr. Tony Curtis here. Okay, so describe what other airline? I mean, what other airline disasters were created either accidentally or on purpose by Gaddafi's regime? We have Lockerbie, right?
We have Lockerbie, we have I told you, the Korean, and also we have another aircraft, which is the 727 Boeing. It was hit. It had the same name. It has the same number of flight as the Lockerbie 1013. And I think it was shot by him because he wanted the media to have sympathy to him, because they were really giving him hard time about Lockerbie. So he had to sacrifice. He doesn't care. This is what I think, this is what happened.
What did he blame it on? What did the Libyan state media blame?
Every time they say they send the black box to France, and then they say it's because of technical reasons. But I don't think so. The other thing which I have to emphasize is Gaddafi was running all the activities himself. And he is the only guy ruling this country, nobody else. Could you imagine when you have a game of soccer, they don't mention the names of the players? Could you imagine this?
Well, that's what he did.
Yeah, he never mentioned the names, it's forbidden. He never mentioned any names of his ministry, the prime ministers, energy prime minister, any prime minister. It's illegal to say his names on TV or radio. He was jealous of everybody. I think he was jealous even of his shade. It's only him.
That's crazy. Wow. So, what do you think caused the tipping point for the youth?
Beg your pardon?
The tipping point that caused them to go out and to the streets? Because I've heard different stories, and some people, I don't know. There's a rumor going around that seems somewhat absurd that Saif is the one that started these protests with the lawyers, and it got out of his hands. But that seems to be absolutely absurd.
Not really. I'll tell you how it started. You know, there is a prison in Tripoli which called Abu Slim.
Yes.
Prison. And there is this man called Abdullah Sanusi, which is relative of him or something. He's the head of security. A long time ago, there was in jail around 1,200 people, and this man shot the people, buried them with cement, and people did not know about this till later. So they started their to protest against this. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Before that, of course, as you know, Matt, and you visited the children's hospital, they had the AIDS crime.
The children that were purposely
Yeah.
560, I believe.
Exactly. Which was shot by the Bulgarian nurses, and it was sent by him too. I don't know. To tell you the truth, like I told you, sometimes you question yourself, why is this? You find yourself in endless case.
Was there ever any, but it's never been verifiable that the Gaddafi regime had the kids injected with AIDS. it could well have been an outside doctor that wanted a patrol group.
It could be, but I think to tell you the truth here, it's very hard to do anything in his time unless he knows about it.
Oh, so you think
There was top security here.
so you think he was
As you know, the media is forbidden to come in here.
Yeah.
So it was like a grave. It was the land which time forgot. It was the land which time forgot. It was media that wasn't here. Nobody knows about us. Nobody knows about us. Now people is really astonished outside. They used to call me and say, listen, you guys, what you doing? This man is ruling you. He's a stupid guy. He can't even talk. And he is pain in the butt, you know. And you are sleeping. You are like, they nearly called us cowards. They nearly called us cowards.
easier to
Now,
say,
excuse me?
it's easy to say that when you're on the outside.
This is what I mean. Now, I get the same calls telling me, oh my God, what kind of man you have? What kind of man ruling you? They are really surprised because they haven't seen this thing even in the World War I and II. They haven't seen these crimes, killing his people by tanks, by airplanes. So they were really astonished. You know, Nasrallah, he's the Hezbollah. He said, if you give me 10,000 people of Benghazi, I will free Palestine. Because of the courageous they saw, the courageous people of this country. They had really, they see them on TV, developing these weapons, changing these weapons.
I know, the weapons that are...
They are modifying.
I saw a rocket launcher that had a light switch on it.
Uh-huh.
That's how you operate the ignition. It was a light switch.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like you turn on the light and it shoots the rocket.
Yeah. They even took from some of the aircrafts, the helicopter aircrafts, they took the rockets and they put them on a cruiser and a pickup truck.
You know, I posted this on my Facebook. I said that in Libya, it seems that pepper spray has been effectively replaced by anti-aircraft guns mounted on trucks.
Yeah, you said it. You said it. You said it.
I mean, everybody has an anti-aircraft gun.
Exactly. I will give you a brief on Libyan Arab too. They started with two Caravelle. It's a French aircraft. It's nice aircraft, Caravelle. Okay. It's French made. And there were French pilots flying these aircrafts. Till we got our training, and then we took over. Libyan Arab became fully with Libyan pilots. After that, the airline joined with 8 727-200. And then after that, another 2, which became 10 aircrafts. With that, there was about 10 to 15 Fokker 27, Fokker Friendship. It's a Danish aircraft.
Oh, it's a Danish one.
Holland is Danish or Dutch? Dutch, sorry, Dutch aircraft. And then we brought another 3 Fokker Friendship, which is Dutch aircraft, F28, Fokker Friendship 28. And it was nice airline, classy, good aircrafts, nice pilots. Even the foreigners, when they come in here and they fly our aircrafts, they say, my God, I never flew such a smooth flight like Libyan Arab Airlines. We had good reputation with the foreigners more than Libyans. Due to good training, they were all trained in Oxford Air Training in England, and after that they had refresher every 2-3 months. Now sometimes they sit for a year. No refresher.
So in the early days of Gaddafi, though, it was okay.
Yeah, in the early days. And we had another thing, which is the training. The training, it was very good in the early days. But then after that, he was squeezing on the money, every time saying he's taking the money, I don't know, they're using it someplace else. And he was squeezing every place, not only aviators, you know, in health, in bringing goods from outside, in oil. He increased the liter of benzene, you know,
Yeah.
for the car. I mean, we are an oil country. We should get it very cheap here. He increased it. He did so many things which is hilarious. Like I told you, you try to find the answer for it, you find yourself endless.
Well, the other question, because in the beginning, was he really that bad, the first 5 years or so?
Well, if I tell you that I walked in the streets, regretting that I walked one day, shouting that Viva Gaddafi, I walked. I have old pictures now in the TV. Sometimes they bring old songs. I'm walking in front of the Land Rover and saying Gaddafi. But then he changed completely in the first 3, 4, 5 years. He changed completely.
But he didn't change overnight right away.
No. Because he can't. He can't. He really was bad when he said, I'm making the people ruling the country. It was a lie. It wasn't the people ruling the country. He was ruling the country since he came. But he's saying, I'm letting the people ruling the country. You know, all of them, they do this, you know, in front of the West world and the whole world, that he's just sitting there watching what's happening, but he's not ruling. And it's a lie. It's a big lie. It's his Gustavo's, his police, this is the people ruling the country.
It's the Abdullah Sanusis.
Yeah, and the other guys, everybody around him. Probably this guy have 3, 4 circles around him when he was ruling, which I hope he was ruling. And we end his case and we finish, because he seems to me that he's holding with his chair, and he doesn't want to leave after 42 years with no, what do you say, inauguration. Like, people have to vote. People don't want him. So what's the case? Go away. They don't want you. 42 years holding to the chair, and he is killing them. He said, either I rule you or kill you. You heard this, right?
Yes.
I mean, this is crazy. People don't want you. Young people don't want you. His son, he started something called Libya al-Ghad, which is Libya tomorrow. But never, it was all on paper. Never happened.
Isn't that what?
And he was, excuse me for interrupting, and he was liked by people a little bit. But after he came on TV and he started doing this with his fingers and stuff, people hated him because they saw the picture of his father. They thought he is different. But it looks like he's not different.
Cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, exactly.
I think people would have reacted if he came out and said, all right, everybody, let's calm down. We'll work things out, and there's going to be reform. What if Saif al-Islam, what if Saif came out and was very calm and conciliatory instead of how he approached it?
Well, Matt, I'll tell you, these things, I don't think it will work out, and I don't think it will help, because bloodshed, دم الشهداء ما يمشي هباء. It means that the blood of the people which was killed, it will not go free.
It will never go away.
It will never go away. So now he shed blood of maybe 15,000 people, Libyans. I don't think they will sit on a table and they will fight till the end. And I know they will succeed, for sure. Because you can't hold people. Look what's happening in Syria. Look what's happening in Yemen. All of them, they will leave. Because people are very strong. And they are stronger than ruler, even if ruler brought the whole world of weapons. If the whole world of weapons brought, because I'll tell you one thing, delegation of Bashir, of Sudan. It was in Libya. And one of them said that Gaddafi one time showed them armory, it will never end. He have armory, but he doesn't have any more men. Men no more. If you see on TV now, little people dancing at night, and some of his Gestapo coming on TV and every day terrifying us on TV and telling us we're gonna get you, we're gonna this, we're gonna. I think he's finished. I don't think he have more days, except maybe time did not come yet for him to go, but he's going. He's finishing. And if he's not finishing, we are fighting till the last drop of blood we have for him to go, because we can't take this anymore.
One second. This is very good. This is one of the best interviews I've had.
Yeah?
Yeah, you're doing amazing. Okay. So, I'd like to talk about what you think caused the tipping point.
I forgot to tell you that also Gaddafi used the civilian aircrafts
Oh, yeah, and the war with Chad.
with Chad and Uganda. Could you imagine what he was doing?
What did he use civilian aircraft for?
He used the civilian aircraft to carry on bombs, rockets, everything. Civilian aircraft. They used to have it in the. I used to have a friend, may God bless him. His name is Khalifa Amish, Captain Khalifa. He's dead. He was telling me that they put the bombs and the things in the trays, the food trays, so that the customs of other countries, in case they stop and they don't find them. He was. Nobody knows why he did the Chad war. Nobody knows why he did Uganda war. We have nothing to do with that. Nobody knows why he's building a Sheraton or a Hilton in Zimbabwe or Mozambique or. I mean, we are starving here, and he's doing things in Africa. It's like your home. It's like, Matt, your home, your father and mother is giving the neighbors, and you are dying out of hunger. Would you believe that? I mean, it's crazy. Did you see the country? Did you see the streets? Did you see the poverty?
It looks like a lost civilization.
Some of our places is more worse than Kandahar. More worse than Peshawar. It's really, you can't believe it. You can't believe it. I saw some people here. I mean, the average wage for the person, probably $100
A month?
a month. Could you imagine living on $100 a month? These days, I mean, you could get maybe 3 pizzas with $100. Raising a family of 7 or 8 people on $100. That's why corruption started. Also, let me say that dirty things started because of poverty. Poverty leads countries such as, let's say, all countries which are under the poverty line. They go into prostitution, they go into dealing and wheeling in drugs, and this is crazy, man. I mean, it's nonsense. So he takes money, he gives it to Africans. He takes money, he gives it to the revolutionary all around the world. He gives money to destroy things, to explode aircrafts, to explode nightclubs, to sabotage some places, to kill people outside. There was a time where he wants to kill everybody against him outside as a Libyan. There were assassinations in Greece, in Germany, in Rome. Nobody said anything. I mean, the international court now saying that he's a criminal of war, and they should have done this maybe 30 years ago when he started doing this. But as you know, because of the, what do you say, the Like I need you, you need me, you know.
Yeah, the economic dependency.
Exactly. The economic dependency, the relation, because he have fuel, he have petroleum. The whole world is bending for him till the people themselves, they couldn't take it anymore. You know, if the people didn't do this, he would rule for another 30 years or 40 years till he dies. And his son will come. And his other son will come. Because the West have things to do here. The West like him.
Not so much anymore.
Not anymore, yes, because he uncovered in front of the world. But he was doing the bad things before, and the West accepting it. To tell you the truth, Matt, the West, they don't care. They care about their own relation, their own economic situation.
They're not charitable. They look out for themselves.
After themselves, they don't care. They don't care. They don't care. Like the factories of weapons. Factories of weapons, if there is no war, they will close. They have to create wars. They have to create wars for the war factories to operate. Otherwise, they will close. And they can't close the factories of weapons because it's important for the economic of USA, for economic of England, for economic of every place where they have war factories. It has to be operating. And if it's operating, you need war someplace in the world.
So, what do you think caused the tipping point for the youth to come out? What do you think was the real tipping point?
The tipping point, like I told you, first the 1,200 jailed.
I mean, like right now, though, like in Tunisia and Egypt. Why do these things happen right now, as opposed to?
Because they had enough.
What about 2 years ago or 10 years from now?
They were promising them. They reached a part where they were angry. The people they made lots of marches, and they were raising peaceful marches and raising that they don't like the country how it's heading, and they don't like the situation. But they were promising them. The promise took too long.
Do you think that has anything to do with also in the strategic places like Egypt, and Tunisia and Libya, where these guys have been in power for so long that they're all aging? You know what I mean? They're aging and they're losing a grip on power because of the aging.
Exactly, and they never changed. They never changed.
So they're dinosaurs in a way. They didn't adapt to the times.
Exactly. You said it. You said it.
So
Yeah.
that's what you think is the key to this was the moment that they wouldn't adapt to the times. So there's a critical threshold that people reached. At the same time that these guys can't adapt to it and keep that threshold lower, that they weren't adapting, so it was growing and growing and growing, and then it exploded. Because in Pakistan, if you notice, every 10 years they have like a coup where they kick the guy out.
Yeah.
They never explode like this. They have little explosions.
It used to be in Syria too, by the way. It used to be in Syria too. Every 2-3 years they have a coup.
But now with the Ba'ath Party and
Yeah.
Assad, and it's a little different now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I guess if you could elaborate more on that for me about why at this moment in time.
I think, like I told you before, what pressurized the people to do this? One of them is instability. The second thing, poverty. It reached here, like I told you, the person takes $100 to live on it for a month with 7-8 kids. I mean, this is unbelievable, staying 40 years and there was no change in salaries, Matt. There was no change in salaries for 40 years. Things inflate. There's inflation in the world. You can't keep me on a salary for 40 years, the same salary. This is insane. You can't give a person which have 7 kids a salary of $100 or $200 a month to feed his kids. And he was stressing them. He was stressing them more and more and more. And he lies. The regime we had, till now, he's living on lies. And anybody live on lies, the foundation is bad. It will fall down. Lies, lies, lies.
These promises were just like the buildings all over Libya.
Yeah. Did you see the buildings of the Chinese company made next to it? It's
20,000
sitting there for ages.
20,000 units.
Yeah.
And then when I was driving to Beda, it occurred to me, I thought I was looking at the Mayans or the ancient Egyptians.
Yeah. Where? In Beda.
No, when you're driving along and you see skeletons of buildings everywhere, except
Exactly.
one room is complete.
Yeah.
One room is done, but then you see a satellite dish, and then you see sheep around, and you realize somebody's living in a half-erected building. That it wasn't even completed. It probably stopped in 1969 or 1970. You have the hospital. It took 36 years to get 33% operational.
Yeah. Yeah.
The 1,200 bed hospital. 36 years.
36 years. They call it the 1200 first ties, and they called it the 1200 servants, because, man, it took 36 years to build this hospital.
The pyramids went up.
You know what happened here, Matt, is they do something. It wasn't a regime, it was a crazy people. They do something and they put the money for it, and then he thinks of something else, he takes the money and put it for that thing. And he leaves it as shadow.
So it's a magnified attention deficit disorder.
Exactly, exactly. And he takes from this and put this, and he takes from, and one time he came, like I told you, his son was doing something called Libya al-Ghad, tomorrow Libya, and he was wearing these ties with his suits, you know, all Gino Franco Ferri and this and that and the tie, and he comes to people and he says, listen, we're gonna do. The second day his father comes and say, no, this is too much. Why doing all this? Finish. No, go to step one. And I will tell you one thing very important. These people, Matt, they don't like things to change. People of Gaddafi. There is people surrounding Gaddafi, they don't like things to change.
Well, because if things change, that means they're going to lose.
They're gonna gone. They're gonna lose their image.
Lose their nest egg.
Yeah. They're gonna lose their image, their power. So there was a challenge between the kid guys and his father. But as I continue and say again, this man, after he came out on TV and he was swearing at people, no more people would like him or want to sit with him or negotiate anything with him or his father. Because they are finished, like I told you, 15,000 people getting killed. This is bad news. This is bad news. And people will come out and get killed again and again and again till they finish, till they are out.
And in brutal ways.
Because these people got killed, they have sons. And if he is young, he have his father. And if the guy is old, he have his sons. And if he is there, no sons, he have his brothers. You know that there is women also on the front line now?
Seriously?
Yes, they fight. If they don't fight, they are in the nursing. Because I know one person, his 5 children died. And he went and died himself in the front.
Wow.
Their family is Ilhami. We really respect them so much, these people. Because they are, what I tell you, when it first started the revolution, I was at the Tahrir court there, where the court is, you know that. And his father was there. After that, a week or two, when I asked, they told me that his 5 son died, his 5th son. And he went there and he died there too. He was shivering. You know, when you talk with him, he was shaking. I mean, crazy.
Well, that's terrible. So,
I have to tell you another thing. I have a story now, which is, I think it will be of interest to you. There was also a crash of African Airlines here, just a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. This was disaster. Of course, I went to training in France, and I didn't finish my training. And then there was an aircraft was handled to Libya. It was a new aircraft. It's 330, Airbus 330. Very sophisticated aircraft. You know, joysticks and authority and all that. It was delivered to Libya. After 3 months, it was crashed in Tripoli airport. This crash was of bad management of African Airlines. African Airlines, or let's say, there was something called consortium of Libyan, Arab, African, and VIB flights headed by a man called Sabri Shadi. He's a friend of the regime. He's a stupid guy. He's a pilot of Fokker, and because he's a friend of Abdullah Sanusi or stuff, he became head of this consortium. This man, he handled the Aero Club. He broke it, made it broke. Then he moved to Libyan Arab. He made it broke. Then they took him to African Airlines. You know what broke? Broke, no money.
bankrupt.
Yeah, bankrupt, sorry. You know, because I lived here now, I used to live in the States, my English was better. But because I am in this regime and we are living here, we are not communicating with the world, and the English went poor. Even my language, not as good as before. I used to speak much better than this. But anyway, so this man came to African Airlines and he holded the consortium of these airlines. He used to give the pilots of African Airlines the minimum rest time. This flight was going from Tripoli to South Africa. The pilot, he was professional because he used to fly with me in the 727 Boeing, and he's a good pilot. Unfortunately, his son was in Africa studying pilot, this captain of the aircraft. To be a pilot, there was a school in South Africa. So he was giving them 9 hours, which is the minimum rest for an airline in a base changing crew. I mean, flying for about 12 to 15 hours. With, you know, not only flying, you know how we count our duty time? It's from leaving your home. This is your duty time, not from flying time. So if you count the duty time from leaving his home and sitting in the aircraft 2-3 hours waiting for passengers and fuel, and because it wasn't coordinated, it wasn't managed good. The pilot sometimes stays in his aircraft 2 to 3 hours for him to prepare the aircraft for him. And outside in the really good airlines, the pilot should walk into the aircraft, start his aircraft and move. There is no time for all this stuff. There's dispatchers. They do this stuff. But here it's stupid. So he took off. He went to South Africa with his 2 co-pilots. They take 2 co-pilots for minimum time so that he have minimum time of rest. They went there. He had his son. Of course, if you are a pilot, Matt, and you go and you didn't see your son for a couple of weeks or months, and you see your son, I don't think you will sleep straight away. You will party and you will go and have fun and eat, and so I don't think that pilot even slept that night. And they came back the second day. They took from South Africa At night, usually they take off. They arrive morning, they take at night. And you know, sleeping in daytime is not like sleeping in night. The time of night is better than daytime. You will not relax in daytime. And there is the jet lag. It's a long way. He came the second day. They arrived here early in the morning. Sunrise. Tripoli Airport, they have runway 9 and runway 27. Same runway, but one of them is 090 degrees.
Perpendicular?
Yeah, no, straight. And the other one is the same runway, but this side is east to west, east and west, 270 degrees and 090 degrees.
Okay.
So usually when we come in, we prefer to land on 270 because the sun rising from we prefer to land on 27. Okay. So anyway, he was landing against the sun. This is one factor. The other factor, he came in, I don't think he had enough sleep. Fatigue. The third, the aircraft is very sophisticated aircraft. Probably they have training 8-9 months ago only. His co-pilots, they weren't really good experience on the aircraft. The aircraft itself, it's very sophisticated because it has joysticks and it has authority. Like if one person press on this joystick, he will fly the plane. The other person will disconnect the authority. He have to press 40 seconds. There is a routine. I don't want to tell you these things because I don't think people will really understand the technical things. But anyway, what happened mainly is fatigue. Mainly fatigue. The aircraft flies by itself, the Airbus 330. It's too much automation on it. But I don't think the accident happens because the pilot was bad. Probably probably like I told you before, the runway was bad, the alignment was bad. This is one of the cases. The runway they were landing on, I mean, if they gave him runway 27, like I told you, 270 the other side, it has ILS, Instrument Landing System. No, they brought him to land on the 090, which have non-directional beacon. This non-directional beacon, now, they don't use it anymore in airports. It's from World War II. It's a needle. It's a magnetic needle. It shows you the runway in case it's bad visibility. And there was fog that day. The same thing like Korean. Always Tripoli in the morning, there's fog in the airports. So this non-directional beacon, sometimes it doesn't work good. Maybe it leads you to not the runway. So he had an accident off the runway around 200 meter, 300 meter, before the runway. He hit the wires, the electrical wires, and he smacked into the ground. I mean, this why? Because the fatigue. They need the aircraft back. I mean, you can't operate an airline like this. It's crazy. Sabotaging people, lives. Because he was, tell you, he was young, he doesn't know, he is not educated to be an airline manager, the manager, I mean, of the airline. There weren't people which are educated to deal and wheel with the airline as managers. So you could take an example of this airline as any other department in the country. It was like this all the time. Any place managed bad, the wrong person in the wrong place. This is how it is. Do you think, Matt, I want to ask you something. Do you think the wrong person in the wrong place will solve things?
Certainly not.
This is what I mean. The whole country was like this. The whole country was like this. You could imagine how it was. Banana.
Do you think it was purposely?
Banana country.
Do you think it
Of course, of course. To keep. Do you know the story about the sack with the rats?
No.
There was Amir, you know Amir,
A prince.
prince. So he said to the people, if anybody catch, because the country was really so much rats, and it was really annoying the people of sickness and crime, you know, sickness and germs. And so he said, I will be smart and tell the people, anybody who collects for me 100 rats, then I will give him a gift of gold such and such.
Oh, this is the Pied Piper.
Huh?
The Pied Piper.
Uh-huh.
This is the story of the Pied Piper.
Yeah?
But yeah, keep on going. I want
Okay,
to
okay.
It's a great
And
story.
then a person collected 100 rats in a sack and brought it to him. He told him, okay, there is your gold, there is this, but please could you tell me, how did you collect these rats? How did they did not run away from you? He told them, I will tell you. He said, I collected the rats, and he was surprised. He could collect 100, but how he brought it to them without anybody running? He said, I collected the 100 rats, and I was putting them under my shoulder and moving them all the time till I reach your palace. So this is what was happening to us. He was really, the whole time, he was really shaking us.
Oh, like, okay. So the story is, because the Amir said he would kill you if the rat ate any.
Exactly, yeah, yeah. I didn't say it in details, but this is the factor itself, what I'm talking about. He was really, but you are right. He
So
said,
what happened again? So the Amir said, I'm giving you a sack full
Uh-huh.
of food,
yeah,
like full of rat food. You have to capture me 100 rats.
uh-huh,
However,
uh-huh,
if the rats eat any of the food,
uh-huh,
I kill you.
yeah,
Otherwise, if you come back and they don't eat any of the food, you get the gold.
exactly.
Okay, and so then on the way back, he shook the...
Yes, to get the,
Oh, okay.
is it the piper or not
No,
different?
no, no, the Pied Piper is different.
What's the piper?
The Pied Piper is the story of it was, I guess you could say, reflective of the Black Plague. There were a bunch of rats in town,
Mm-hmm.
and the Pied Piper goes into the town,
Mm-hmm.
and he plays his flute, his magical pipes,
Mm-hmm.
and the rats follow him out of town.
Mm-hmm.
But they refused to pay him.
Yeah,
So to get revenge, he went back into town, and he used his magical pipe to lure every child out of the town, and he killed them all.
oh yeah?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You never heard that story?
No, not
No.
really, it's interesting.
So in an act of revenge, he went back into town and he lured all the children out like he did with the rats.
No,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
That's what I thought the story was
Yeah.
at first. But no, this is even better that he says Gaddafi kept on shaking you guys, keeping you off balance,
Yeah.
keeping you divided, keeping atomizing people,
Yeah.
individualizing everybody, right? So 4 people could not walk together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like outside, 4 people could not gather together in a public place.
Ah, when it was his regime.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't gather together. You can't. There was, I will tell you the truth, I will tell you another story. I was staying with my brother, and he lives in Guwarsha, you know. He have a mansion there. And
You gotta change tapes. See, this is what happens.
okay, let me drink.